Bailey, we've known each other for 14 years, and I have one question for you. Can you name any one of my family members and or partners?
I can definitely name her ex-girlfriends.
Welcome to the season 49 finale recap video of Survivor Squared, a podcast we talk all things Survivor, delve into the world of reality TV. We've covered all of season 49, myself and my ride or die Bailey Buffs, and today we're talking about the finale that saw a challenge beast, that saw a cringeworthy final tribal question, and that kicked us off on the road to season 50, where we will be having episodes every week leading up to 50. Guests are coming on. We'll be covering season 50. We'll be moving on to the Traitors, all things reality TV. So if this is the first time you're seeing us, thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you're here. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, help this channel grow. There is so much fun to be had in 2026. I'm coming to you, hopefully in full view from my mom's place in Boston for the holidays, but we couldn't not have a podcast after that finale of a season that we've covered from start to finish. Bailey, first off, congrats to you for being here the whole time.
Pretty pissed about you for that cold opening there, just putting me on the spot like that. I had a whole thing where I was going to be like, if I spent 30 days with these people, I would absolutely know their family. And then you're like, bitch, you've known me 15 years. I was like, oh, shit.
I'm at my mom's house. Can't name my mom's name. It's okay. I can't name your dad, your mom's name. That's all right. I can name former ex-boyfriends of you, but that's about it. Hey, Bailey.
And we won't do that to each other. We won't do that to each other, Tony.
We're both game bots, Bailey, and sometimes being a game bot is enough to win you $1 million. Let's dive into season 49, Bales. Heading into it, we had 5 players left, and we end up with a surprising final 3. And it was, in my opinion, other than the 25-minute interlude that we will not be having during this show, it was quite a finale.
1,000%. I was not expecting some of the things to go down. I mean, even Sophi winning that second immunity after she's behind the entire time. Like, I was not expecting that. Her decision to not even talk to anyone or allow anyone to pitch themselves to her. Like, I don't know, the fire challenge, just everything was insane. Some of the game mechanics that we saw in both of those immunity challenge, Kristina apparently being a fire god.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
So many things have happened. What the heck? Why didn't they show us any of that?
I know. And then at the end, a final tribal that lasted a long time that apparently was different than past final tribals, where we went back to the old theme of everyone saying a little bit and having their moment in the sun during final tribal, which I really, really enjoyed. Everyone coming at it from a different angle. We're going to break all of that down, but let's start off with Kristina, because this was her shining moment in Survivor, and it took her getting eliminated to do so. The fact that she was known in any way as a threat was a surprise to us because we hadn't seen it, Bailey. And do you think, because she was kind of the GOAT of this whole entire season, everyone did not respect her game, do you think that that was kind of a disservice to her? Should they have shown that a little bit more, that she was that helpful around camp?
You know, I do. I think they should have let us see that she was a beast at making fires, or that she knew what she was doing, you know, survival-wise. Like, I thought it was just such an interesting, very clear view into the difference of what we see versus what they're experiencing. When I was hearing them sitting on the beach talking about how they saw Kristina as a threat, I'm sitting there going, in what world? You know, but then it's like you have that realization of like, well, they're not seeing the edit we're seeing. They're not seeing the confessionals. What we watch is manipulated and edited to give us the viewpoint that they want us to have. So I just thought it was so interesting to have that reminder of like, okay, these people see Kristina as a threat. We, the audience, do not. But clearly there's some stuff we're not seeing, and that was made very clear when they talked about the fire. And I do wish I would have gotten to see a little bit more of that.
Even at the beginning of this finale, they're painting Kristina as a clown. She's falling all over herself during the challenge. She screams in pure... I thought she blew both her knees out and then immediately is like, I'm fine, giggling, getting up, limping away. She falls again off the barrel and takes like a wrestling fall and gets destroyed. And they're only showing that. Like, again, I'm watching all of these Survivor seasons at once, and I remember very vividly them showing Dan and Will from season 30, the Dirty 30, and those two guys can't stop falling over each other, and we don't like them. And from the edit, they're villains, so we're laughing at them as they fall all over each other. This one for Kristina made you feel bad, and then at the end, she comes out as a threat, so like they're playing her as the dunce. They show Savannah sort of bully her in one of the episodes. Who are you voting for? Why aren't you? And she has to back away. Like, all of these things, Steven talking directly to camera how he doesn't believe Kristina's a good alliance member. No one is painting Kristina in a good light. And then she's taken out because she believably to the other four is a huge threat in fire. That was a bit unfair to Kristina, someone that we've critiqued very harshly on this show, but I believe very honestly. However, I think they were unfair to her here.
And I get it. It's a narrative. You have to storytell even in reality TV. I understand that. But I do think Kristina kind of got screwed this season with the edit she got. And just to go back to what you said too, I thought she broke an ankle. Like, I thought in that initial slide down, and to say something too, I've said forever, I want to be on Survivor. I want to be on Survivor. That's the one part, that one mechanic of challenges that scares the absolute living crap out of me, because I feel like I would injure myself on it. So when she did that, I had such a visceral reaction because I was like, that's my worst fear unlocked. And then she was like, never mind, I'm fine.
But I will say, she may have come away with the moment of the show. I didn't know whether I wanted to do this review like chronologically, but I think we should take each player and have a little section about them. And this can be the Kristina section because she stole the finale. She stole the final tribal. Her question to Savannah.
My question is for you, Savannah.
Why?
And Kristina's asking to Savannah because she didn't believe Savannah had a social game and asked Savannah.
I would like for you to please name one family member or partner of everybody on the jury.
And Savannah, to her credit, handles this like an absolute pro. She takes a second, and then she goes, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. And Kristina presses on her.
I would like for you to try, please.
She does try. She goes through individually, doesn't stop. And to each one, only names about two people, Nate and Steven, that she actually gets a name right on. And to everyone else is like, I'm saying what I know about you, but I'm honestly sorry, I cannot figure it out. And at that point, Bailey, at that point, I truly thought our girl Savannah was lost, because I thought this was going to be a bitter jury, and that question was the nail in her coffin. If you like that game or not, depending on whether you like social games, strategic games, physical games, whatever you prefer, you have to admit, new era or old era, that is an all-time Survivor Final Tribal moment.
My jaw was on the floor when that came out of Kristina's mouth. Because you also immediately, again, like you said, testament to Savannah. She kept it together. She had her newscaster face on. She kept it very professional. She answered it as well as she could have. But there was the moment that you saw her heart drop. You saw Savannah panic and just go, I can't. I can't. And it was absolutely backing up Kristina's claim of like, well, you don't know any of us and you didn't take the time to know any of us. And that's a valid thing to say. I mean, again, I know we're joking about the start of our episode here, but it's like, if you are on an island with someone, you're disconnected from your phones, you're away from social media, the news, any type of entertainment. All you have are these discussions with these people. You almost have to get to know them. So it was almost a little unbelievable to me that Savannah only got 2. I thought she'd do a little bit better than that, because it was like, girl, really? You didn't know anything?
They didn't.
Even
they
like
didn't.
To Sophi, I think you're the oldest of 4, maybe? Even that wasn't solidified. And it was like, it did make me like just think a little bit differently about Savannah in that moment. Again, easy to commentate on from my couch. I've never been there. I've never lived the experience. However, it was a little shocking that she could not get out more answers than she did.
I legitimately have like, this is known for me. I call everyone Bud and Hun because I don't remember names ever. Like, and I know people's faces. I remember a guy I worked with at a bartending job 10 years ago. I'll be like, yo, Bud, what's up? And immediately remember things we did that day, or like with the drinks we made at the bar, the event we worked, stuff like that. And I'll remember that they might be the oldest or the youngest sibling. No chance do I remember people's names. And I don't know, I'm not saying to paint Savannah in a better color. I'm just saying some people have it, some people don't. However, Kristina was right to point that out, and I thought even better so Rizzo, Sophi was right to be sitting in front of Savannah and mouthing the answers,
Mouthing it.
knowing full well that the jury is seeing her mouth these answers. And I thought Sophi, we'll get to her in a second, held herself very well. But anything else you want to wrap up on the Kristina storyline here?
I loved the level of pettiness she brought with the no, try. I just loved that. I did love it. And I loved even the pan to her when they're talking about, Savannah's talking about why she got Kristina out and how she was such a threat and fire. I loved Kristina sitting there just with this smile on her face, like, yep, better believe it. I am a threat. And I was amazing at that. And I did love those little moments for Kristina just to kind of put a little bow on her entire edit. Because again, I don't think she had a great edit, but that was a nice way to kind of say goodbye to Kristina, to give her a little bit of like oomph and empowerment in that last, 10 minutes she's on screen.
Speaking of a great edit, let's move on to the next person eliminated, the one who lost the fire-making challenge, the one who held on to an idol for, I believe, 9 straight tribals, played a fake one, fake played the idol, pump faked a little bit in a couple of these moves, and then finally played the idol to get no votes whatsoever. And you could say it was a wasted idol, you could say he did exactly what he wanted to do, but he found himself in the final 4, and then put himself in fire to get something on his resume, only to lose to the future queen herself. And then, at the end, gets a beautiful send-off by Jeff, where he doesn't call him Rizzo. He says, Riz God, the tribe has spoken, and the whole jury loses it.
Riz God, the tribe has spoken.
My man catapults himself into season 50 because of his personality, because of his intelligence, because of his strategy, and Rizzo is our last jury member. Were you sad that Rizzo didn't make the final, Bailey?
Bittersweet. Because there was part of me that didn't want the Tres Leches to make it. I wanted there to be a little bit of a switch up. I didn't want it to be those 3. And if it was between Savannah and Rizzo, I mean, we've touched on this. I do think Savannah overall had the better game. So when it came down to them 2, I was happy to see Savannah prevail, especially because when we were talking about all this fire, I mean, pissed me off a little bit that Savannah was a little woe is me. Sophi shouldn't send me there. She knows I'm not good at fire. But it presented her in this way of like, she has no idea what she's doing. Then to come back and win is always cool. I enjoyed seeing that. Rizzo, my gosh. I mean, I'm genuinely, I've come so far with that guy, with that sweet boy. I mean, I look back on our power rankings video and I'm like, fuck no, get him out of here. And now I'm like, I can't wait to watch him more in 50. The boy has won me over 1,000% and will continue to. And shout out to Rizzo, because this episode, homeboy was like first in some of the challenges for a little bit. He did pretty good. I was very proud of him. He stood a chance and he really worked hard. And I mean, you love the kid. You love the confidence. You love the Riz, for lack of a better adjective. But I think it played out the way it was supposed to play out, is what I will say.
I agree with you wholeheartedly that it played out the way it was supposed to play out, because for all of the pros in Rizzo's game, he did, as the game went on, show a lot of the cons in his game as well. Like the physical attributes, the fact that the kid can't put a 3-piece puzzle together, let alone a 50-piece puzzle. I love the fact that he then cheats and he still gets the answers, and it's fun to watch, and he's a great personality. But when it comes to the whole picture, the whole game, he's not a full, complete player. And that kind of makes him lovable in a way. The physicality's not there. The intelligence is. The strategy is. His likability is. But at the end of the day, if you go on Survivor, and I fully believe this, if you go on Survivor and you can't make fire by the end of it, you don't deserve to win. Like this whole entire entity, the aura of this game, the image that hangs above it is the fact that these people are cast-offs. They're marooned on an island, must survive in order to survive, and the best one, the one that has all of it in front of them, is the one deserving of the victory. If you can't make a fire by the end of 30 days, you're not a survivor, in my opinion. Granted, this guy, you give him a flint and some bones, I ain't making a fire, but I guarantee you if I was cast on that show, or if I was on the island for that long, I would figure it out and practice over and over again. So it makes sense that Rizzo hit 4th place. He ends up in the final tribal, asks a great question, and kind of gets us off on the foot that both Sophi and Savannah have a chance to win this, and Sage, to most people, just kind of seems like she's there. We'll get to Sage in a second, but how do you think Rizzo held himself, and are you excited to see him in 50?
Oh, I'm ecstatic to see him in 50, genuinely. And I think the biggest part that I'm excited about is just to see how he's received, because they've already filmed this without watching 49.
Correct.
So they don't know Rizzo and Savannah. So
Correct.
I'm so curious if his charm and his personality, because he's very extroverted, he's very out there, he's very confident. I'm curious if that's going to rub people the wrong way, more of the old era people, past winners. Like, I wonder if they're going to be like, who the fuck does this kid think he is? Or if they're going to be charmed by him and they're going to try to work with him. Like, I can't wait to see if Rizzo and Savannah link up again and they try to run it again as a duo, you know, or if they have a little bit more, you know,
of a
wits
target
about them to maybe try to separate and not put that target.
We'll break
can't
down
wait.
50, Bailey. We have so much to talk about. I have so many ideas of how it could go. There are 3 members from season 48. There are 2 members from season 49. Like, there are former winners, obviously. Does Savannah get a target because she's a winner? Does Rizzo, as we saw in the beginning of 49, start using all the This Is Cinema stuff that made his team vibe together? But as we saw, Nate, the older one, kind of said, I don't know what they're talking about. And Nate and Rizzo did come tete-a-tete during some challenges, just sort of snapping at each other. Nate could have found Rizzo a little bit more annoying than we saw in the edit, and Nate's demographic is most of the Survivor 50 demographic, not Rizzo. So I'm interested to see how it all plays out. But again, Rizzo, you held yourself well. Season 49, 4th place member. Let's get to Final Tribal, the 3 that actually made it, and the first one being Sage, who I've talked about how much I didn't like her game. I've talked about how much she flip-flopped and all that other jazz. However, her coming out at the start of Final Tribal and saying, this was purposeful, I was in the army, you guys don't know this, I came at this tactically, the emotions on the outside were just a disguise, and I got all that because of the edit we saw, but it was clear from the votes and from the tribal questions that not many of them got it. Do you think Sage did herself a disservice by hiding her tactical mind, or does she only get here because she hit it?
I think she made the correct decision in hiding it. I think Sage was able to kind of lie under the radar certain weeks and then, you know, make some moves other weeks and be a little bit more out there and in charge. But I just think I always find it a little hard to believe. And this goes even back to Shannon a little bit. Like, when people are so, you don't know me at all, this was all a lie, I actually fooled you all. I'm like, okay, but are you that good of an actor? Or is that really, like, it's hard for me sometimes to believe, like, this happened on the last season of Big Brother, that this girl was like, I acted stupid this entire time. And it's like, but you're really good at acting stupid. So is that, are you? Does the Sage in real life not collect blackheads and talk about poop and farts? Like, was that a whole ploy? Or I just, it's got to stem from somewhere. It has to stem from some side of your personality. So it's hard for me to take like, oh, this was all a ploy and it was all a show. Because I'm just like, I don't know if it was, though.
I think where it all falls apart for Sage in this whole I'm the tactical mastermind and this was all a ploy is we can argue about her decisions in the tactics. And again, people say Steven was the biggest threat. They were trying to get Savannah from the jump, and Savannah runs away with the victory here. Like, we can talk about how the votes laid out, but Savannah was never going to lose against any one of those final 6, 7, 8 people. And Sage, from the get-go, wanted to get Savannah, and yet failed tactically to do so at any point along the way. And Steven calls her out for this, or maybe it's Sophi. I believe Sophi, Yellow Sophi, calls her out for this, about how that becomes Sage's biggest move is voting out Yellow Sophi. Everyone voted for Yellow Sophi. Sage could have not voted. Sage could have walked away at Final Tribal and quit the game, and it's Sophie still going home that day. Sage did nothing to get it done. So if your whole entire game, if your whole entire convincing move in Final Tribal is to pull the curtain back and say, you are Oz, you know, you are the one running this, you have to prove that you ran everything. And she very much, at least with the way the votes laid out, went with the flow at some of these points. And I think the biggest arrow in Sage's game is the only one that votes for her. Joanne getting blindsided and cast aside, that Sage didn't see that coming, and that really burnt her bad in this final stretch. Whereas the other two were burnt bad earlier in the game and came back to find themselves in Final Tribal. So if we're putting Sage to bed, we have to talk about second place. And someone who, as this episode went on, I thought might steal first place. And that has to
Yep.
do with Blue Sophi, Sophi Balerdi, the one they call Soph that I will never call Soph. Sophie deserves the full name Sophie because she not only made it to the end, being on the disaster tribe from the beginning, going to almost every single tribal like Denise in the Philippines, and then in the very end when she needed it the most, winning immunity to force the two favorites into fire. And then in final tribal, held herself so well, like was so beautiful talking, like everything she said made sense. She was able to take questions and turn them back into professional things for her while also throwing side jabs at Savannah, not in a mean way, but in this is a gameplay moment. I need to put myself above you. She was excellent for the final hour, 30 minutes of this television show, Bailey. And I thought really held herself in such high regard that if they didn't need a male and female spot for 50, I think it would have been Savannah and Sophie going to 50. She deserves to come back. She was excellent on this show.
I'm going to miss Sophie the most from season 49, like 1,000%. And I agree with you. I wish she was going to be on 50. I want to see more of her. She was on her freaking game, Tony. She was so articulate. She was so wise. She was so intelligent, strategic. I mean, she just thought it through so well. And I literally like shed a tear, the genuine emotion she had when she won that immunity. I mean, she was not afraid to say, I am so proud of myself and I deserve this. And I did the damn thing. And it was like, yes, girl, you deserve to feel that way. And it made me so happy. I think it was a brilliant decision to take Sage with her, put Rizo and Savannah up. I thought that was genius. I thought, like you said, the little side comments towards Savannah, towards Sage, I thought were very tactfully done and gracefully done. That didn't make her look like a mean girl, didn't make her look like she was throwing anyone under the bus. She was just answering very succinctly, very professionally, and just she spoke so well for herself. I really thought the moment, especially with Kristina's question towards Savannah, that was the moment that I went, oh my God, is Sophie going to win? I think I even texted you. I was watching late last night. I think I texted Tony like 4 times in a row, like, oh my God, is Sophie going to do this? Is Sophie about to take this? Like, I mean, and we know my feelings towards Sophie. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I want to be her best friend in real life. Hey girl, love you. But I could not have been more proud of her. I thought her whole story was just amazing. I resonated with her a lot. I'm this close to buying that blue sweater. I swear to God, I'm this close.
I almost bought it for my mom for Christmas. I'm not going to lie to you. I will say one thing. And we love Sophie on this podcast. We're happy she made it as she did. And again, she held herself extremely well. I do want to say something that is not great of Sophie's game. But looking back on how everything played out, do you believe she wins $1 million if she steals Rizzo's idol? It's already a 5-2-1 vote in Savannah's favor. I do think that knowledge is power move. Who knows if everything stays the same? But I think stealing Rizzo's idol cost her $1 million.
I would agree, because I think what it boils down to is Sophie verbally won that final tribal, but Savannah's resume is ultimately what got her the votes. I think if Sophie had a little bit more of a stacked resume and then performed the way she had in final, I do think she would have taken it.
But instead, it goes to the queen. And now we have to spend the next however many minutes talking about the full run of Savannah Louie on Survivor 49. 4 immunity challenges won, multiple rewards won, and a fire-making victory at the end. Her back was against the wall for a long, long time. And I released a video from my last podcast talking about if Savannah can do these things, she might be one of the most dominant winners of all time. And I got a lot of people arguing with me that the Boston Robin Redemption Island or the Kim Spradlin in One World, they were always on top. From the jump, they were always on top. And so that's more dominant of a move. And I just kept thinking back to 49, because we recorded on here as well, when Nate gets blindsided. And suddenly this Uli versus Hina becomes everyone's attacking Rizzo, Savannah, Nate, and Blue Sophie. And Nate gets got. And it's a 7-on-3 from then on. We said, how the F do they get out of this? And not only did they get out of this, Bailey, they got out of it unscathed. They ran the game from the jump, mostly due to Savannah constantly having the target on her back, and every time she needed to, getting by through her own ways. No one helped her. No one guided her. No one gave her an idol. No one gave her anything. She kept moving forward from herself. So yes, she might not be able to remember Kristina's kids' names. I'm sorry. She still played an excellent game, and no one could ever put the knife through her heart, which you need to do to threats in Survivor. So yeah, Mike Holloway winning 30 by winning 5 straight immunities. Ben going to fire to beat out Chrissy by finding idol after idol after idol. I have respect for people who are constantly being attacked after the merge, and it's only themselves, and they end up making it. I will always put this win higher than others because of the pressure that they were put on. So I don't know where I rank Savannah yet. I have to get through all my seasons to get her there. I will tell you this. She ranks pretty damn high, Bales.
I'm going to say something really cheesy, but I think it has to be said because what Survivor as a franchise was built on: outwit, outplay, outlast. And the way you do that is by climbing your way out of holes at the bottom, by maintaining your lead at the top. There are so many different ways to do it. There is not just one course that you can take to be the ultimate survivor. There are so many, and in my Survivor winner, I want someone that was on the bottom, that was the underdog, that had the target on their back, that just week after week after week said, no, I'm staying and I'm going to find a way to stay and I'm going to play. I'll manipulate, I'll lie, I'll whatever. I'm staying. And I think that that's what takes Survivor players from good to great. And I think that's what we saw with Savannah. She was a great player because she had a target on her back since day freaking 1. And she still overcame it and won. There was no way that she should have been in that final trio, and she made it. Regardless of what anyone says, she deserved the win. She had the best gameplay, and she had the best resume, and I'm in love with her.
I think
have
she's
girl
fantastic.
crushes.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I am not surprised that it was a vote the way it was, 5-2 to 1. I think Sophi does deserve 2 votes. I was surprised Sage got a vote, but again, that connection with Juwan was real, and he held true to that. But Savannah came away with the votes that she needed to move on forward, and she deserves it because of that. It was an amazing victory, and a victory that may have been kind of spoiled for the Survivor community because of season 50. And I think we now need to talk about season 49 as a whole, because I was actually talking with someone who was on season 50, not to brag, this is just coming up naturally, but they talked about season 49 and how they are not envious at all of season 49's position, because as we know, 50's already been filmed. 50's already been edited. It's coming to us in 2 months. They kind of leaked out who was going to be on the season. And they also, because of that, kind of leaked out that there was going to be a winner from season 50 on the season. So those who were kind of, permanently online, we kind of talked about it on this show. I've talked about it on my socials. We kind of knew Rizo and Savannah were not only going to be on 50, but that likely meant that one of them was going to win and they were going to go far on season 49. If that cloud wasn't hanging over this season, and not even to speak about, hey, next season is the biggest season of Survivor ever. All we got to do is get through this one to get to season 50. Season 49 could have been the best season ever, and you're still going to have that mindset of the next season is the big one. So they're battling from an uphill battle from the get-go. But with that cloud hanging over it, Bailey, if we take that away and we look back at what happens here from the merge to now, I truly think this is going to be an underrated season for people like me watching Survivor for the first time 20 years from now and going through all the seasons. They're going to sit there and go, season 49 is excellent in this new era version of Survivor. And I want to tip my cap, not just because we're covering this for the first time. It's the first season we're doing this podcast. It's the most I've ever put into Survivor during the season, making videos about it, reaching out for interviews, all that stuff. And so I've gotten a genuine connection with these people. I do still want to tip my cap to this season because I think it was an excellent season of Survivor for what it had to battle against. And the constant negativity online that I've found through season 48 and season 49 from many Survivor Twitter users out there, well, I don't want to say any bad names, but we know who they are. you're never going to be happy with whatever Survivor feeds you. And this season, you just have to look back and go, this was quite a run for what they had in front of them. So I just wanted to say that. So do you have any thoughts on season 49 as a whole, Bales?
I loved this. I loved getting to know these people. I loved getting to see new challenge mechanisms and things. And I just, yeah, I think, like you said, I think it was in a tough position and it will be an underrated season, but I have legitimately looked forward to it every single week. And I just cannot stress enough how much I freaking love this show. And I will just always be such an avid supporter. And I will always try to find the positive and the good things in every season, because that's how I operate as a person. I understand people want to be critical. That's fine. That's your right. I'm always going to look for the positives in it. And I think there were more positives than negatives this season. And I genuinely enjoyed every second of it.
From Nicole spitting in Jeremiah's face, to the shoe bandit, to the sea crate taking out Jake, to the unfair flip that took out your boy Jason and Matt, to the merge afterwards, Alex playing both sides, them taking out MC, them flipping on Nate, the power of Trace Leches to battle from the bottom, Rizzo constantly throwing 3 idols in the air like he was juggling and no one ever attacking him, to the very end of Savannah winning and tying the all-time single season record for lady and immunity challenges, and then still having to go to fire and plant herself in the final 3 and taking it at the end. Bailey, I loved this season of Survivor. Is it in my all-time, like up with Cook Islands? Probably not, but it is a very, very good season of Survivor. And again, like you, I look forward to it every single week. Let's move forward now. We have a Christmas special episode coming up with a member from Squid Games The Challenge 2, Eric Eldridge, where we talk all things Survivor and Squid Games. We have a New Year's special where I have a one-on-one with Troy Zan, and we're going to be talking about all things his seasons, what he's doing now. He lives in a jungle south of Miami. He talks about season 50. It's a fantastic conversation. And then Paley and I come off the top rope with a whole new version of Survivor Squared to start us off in 2026, where we power rank the Traitors season 4, every single player on that, including 3 former Survivor players. But Bailey, before we even get there, I want to talk about season 50, because when the calendar hits 2026, you and I are going to be going full bore into season 50. And we got our first touch of a promo last night. I did not watch the promo because I'm still catching up on all of my seasons. I will get there. All I know is Coach has a monologue for the whole thing, which makes me super excited. But Bailey, season 50 is upon us. We have turned a new leaf over. You saw the promo. Is there anything you want to say about season 50 before we kick it off and wrap up season 49?
2 main thoughts. First thought, I didn't recognize Ozzy. That's all I'm going to say. God, I have such a hard time with this. I understand that for a show that has been running for 50 seasons, you have to bring in new things and you have to keep it fresh and you have to add twists. I understand that. The Jimmy Fallon advantage and the Billie Eilish journey and Mr. Beast shows up, I'm so not on board. I am trying to allow space that maybe it'll work and I will get on board with it, but I hate it. If I'm being so honest, I hate it. I feel like it's commercializing it. It's tacky. It's a cheap move. And I'm very hesitant to lean into that new aspect of season 50, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Yes, please.
No, can I say one thing about that? Because I hear you, and that's been a popular complaint online, how we have Jimmy Fallon, Mr. Beast, Billie Eilish. Someone said, are we going to get the Dionne Warwick knowledge is power? It was very funny. But I will say, one of my funnest bits of these recap videos I've been doing, and it's one that hasn't been there in the past few, but in the early episodes, the early season, it was almost a weekly bit in my recap videos, is the Jeff Probst product placement of the week. We've had the Outback Steakhouse Shack before. We've had Tina Wesson going, I love Doritos, and like giving out the cars and talking about how great they are. We've had, they've given out razors before. I think Garnier, whatever, was giving out, hair product that they could get a reward. Yep. And Jeff is literally reading commercial copy to the Survivor players. So we've had this level of product placement before, but we rarely have any type of celebrity endorsement. I get why they're doing it because, again, this is all fuel to the Survivor fire. This season 50 is doing both feeding the fans, but also it's lighting a fire for new fans to be attracted to it. So I do get them using celebrities to try and get those new eyes, especially younger celebrities. I wouldn't have used Jimmy Fallon, but I understand if it's going to make some people mad. I am not surprised it's in the promo. I will be surprised if it's a central point of most of these Survivor episodes, especially the later ones.
Well, here's hoping. I mean, I know we've done things before. We had Sia, used to do her giveaway at the end of seasons and she'd pick her favorite. And we've had these celebrity crossovers. And I understand that Survivor is so loved and there are so many celebrity people that are like really tuned in and have watched forever and are massive fans. I get that. And I do understand trying to open the doors to younger audiences for sure. I think just it's such a new mechanic that I'm just hesitant to get on board with it quickly, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it as much as I don't foresee me getting on board. I'm open to it.
Well, I'm happy you're open to it because Billie Eilish will be joining us for next year's Survivor Fantasy for season 50. She's already signed on to be our 6th member, and we do have to end this show by congratulating Bailey Buffs for winning the season 49 Fantasy League. Bailey, your 60-second acceptance speech.
Thank you. I would like to thank Savannah, and Savannah, because you got double the points of anyone else this entire season, and you were my number 1 pick. So yet again, thank you, Savannah, and thank you, Savannah.
And that is it.
Oh, and thank you. And thank you to everyone in the Fantasy League that was stupid enough not to pick Savannah, and somehow I got her.
And that is it for season 49 of Survivor Squared. Again, we'll be back early next week with a Christmas special. The whole week is loaded. Your holidays will be filled with plenty of interviews and plenty of fun insight from great players from the past. And I'm excited for what 2026 is going to bring. But Bailey, thank you for joining me on this season 49 ride. It's been a blast, and I can't wait to continue doing it.
Love ya.